Broadcasting to you live from the Orion Spiral Arm of the Milky Way Galaxy, the solar system planet Earth, North America, the United States of America. No longer California, Los Angeles, to be pseudo-specific. My name is Brian Engelman. Today is Thursday, October 23rd, 2025. And this right here, the thing that you are watching is called the TNAM Daily Show. TNAM. What does TNAM stand for? The New American Media. If you're just listening and wonder why I'm snapping, it's a cool visual effect where I point at things and then different things occur, such as this. Watch. Join us tonight at 6 o'clock when we're going to be having Strictly Football with Mike Barra, Jim Mitchell, and perhaps Azrael Robinson. He might be under the weather. We shall see. But this is the TNAM Daily Show. Hello, everybody. Thanks for being here. On today's program, we're going to talk about the NBA scandal where the Portland Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups and Miami Heat player, it's Terry Rozier, right? Arrested by the FBI. Gambling investigation. The mob. Rigged poker games. Illegal sports betting. All sorts of stuff. What? We're going to tell you what we know. But I can tell you this much. I've been very suspicious of gambling for a while now. Maybe it's always been this way, but it's all on the table at this point. So we're also going to dump out the rest of the news, like a bunch of trash pandas rifling through the rubbish, separating fake news from fact, trying to tell you about what's going on. And we encourage you to hit like, hit subscribe, share this show, send it out on X, please. Copy the link and send it to a couple friends on text and go, hey, we get together every day and go through the news. You should join our show. Join us in chat. And let's try to double and triple and quadruple the number of people that are watching this. So please share the show. Hit like, hit subscribe, all of those things. And without further delay, let's launch today's program, the TNAM Daily Show, a division of the Agree to Disagree show here on the New American Media. Let's get to it.
Guide to the truth, thenewamericanmedia.com.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here this wonderful late October afternoon. Let's pull comments up on the screen. Who is in here today? Hello, John. Hello, Marion. Lake Leon, Droopy Dog, Kenneth. What is up, everybody? Teacher, coach, musician, news analyst, funny guy, bartender. Wherefore art thou? Hello, David. In Canada. No problems again with YouTube. That was just a user scenario. Had a meeting this morning. Tell you more about that as it becomes as needed. We're on a need-to-know basis. All right. Yeah, the problem wasn't necessarily with YouTube. It was with Restream. Amazon Web Services created a problem. And so I couldn't use Restream the other day. But we are back. Yeah, so you don't think sports are fixed? I hate that sports are fixed. It just ruins sports. But if they're going to allow it, then sports needs to be ruined, I think. All right, let's take a look at the stories in the news, and we will eventually get to the NBA story. This is sort of breaking. But it also touched the Cleveland Guardians. Manuel Clase and some other pitcher both got busted for throwing balls in games, rigging the games against the teams they're playing for. They would argue, oh, I'm just throwing a ball. Yeah, well, you're also putting your team at a competitive disadvantage. It's the number one reason why you don't gamble. So I think it's going to come out. This is way more pervasive than we realize. All right, here's Tim Pool. Harry Sisson gets dunked on by everyone. And when proven wrong, changes his lie to, yeah, okay, but I don't know who the guy in the middle is, but I know the guy on the left is named Harry Sisson, I believe. And he's unfortunately one of the best that the Democrats have to offer. He's not very good. On with Pierce Morgan here.
Question about whether or not a high-ranking Democrat has used this rhetoric. Who is Kamala Harris?
I know. I want you to answer all the questions. I want you to answer all the questions
for you. Who is Kamala Harris?
Wait. Answer all the questions I just gave you. And can you name me
I'm answering
when Kamala Harris said that Donald Trump is Hitler?
Who was
when did Kamala Harris? Great.
Was Kamala Harris last year a high-ranking Democrat when she was?
When did Kamala Harris call Donald Trump Hitler?
October of 2024. Kamala Harris said on the campaign trail, Donald Trump vowed to be a dictator on day one. His former chief of staff said he wanted generals like Hitler's. Donald Trump openly admires dictators, including Adolf Hitler. Last October, that was said on the campaign trail from the Democrat.
So Kamala Harris said this during the campaign, during the closing days of the campaign. It was her final campaign pitch.
And by the way, in the final week, Barack Hussein Obama said that President Trump called Nazis fine people. He was still. This is why I'm so bullish on charging Obama with treason. He was still trying to convince people in this country that President Trump said Nazis are fine people. Lying. Still. There's politics, and then there's whatever that shit is. The most divisive political lie in American history. The final week of the campaign, still out there, repeating the fine people hoax. Everything about Obama was a hoax. Oh, there's a Russian dossier. We have to spy on candidate Trump. No, you don't. You're trying to rig the election to put in your permanent rule of the deep state. The deep state Democrats permanently ruling this country as kings.
Exactly.
Is that high enough ranking for you? You guys you supported her for president.
Exactly, because there have been reports
so the person
that Donald
you
Trump
supported for president is someone
just relax,
who was campaigning by calling Trump Hitler.
Jack,
you're so disingenuous when you bring this stuff up. You can't even acknowledge the fact that your own candidate was on the campaign. She got a video about it. It's on her Facebook, or it's on her Twitter.
Let me offer one here, which is Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton literally compared Trump's rally in Ohio last week to Nazi leader Adolf Hitler's speeches. Speaking of the Texas Tribune Festival in Austin, she made reference to Hitler's speeches, which saw people raise their right arms in the air in the Nazi salute.
Answer the question.
Yeah. The Democrats, if you can't charge them with being guilty of mass formation psychosis, brain damage by lying to people over and over again through their media, through their education system, through their Democrat deep state politicians. So divisive and toxic, poisonous ideology. I didn't vote for Barack Obama, but he had the opportunity to unite this country. He's a half white, half black dude. Could have just said, I told Michelle the other day, the thing that I like most about the United States, look, a guy like me, half white, half black, it doesn't matter. I brought hope, hopeity hope, changeity change, hope and change and hope. That's a good thing. Only in America. We've come a long way since our founding, 1600s, 1700s, 1860s, 1960s. I mean, damn. Look at how great America can be. That's why we have promise here. That's why we're moving in the right direction. Careful making that hand movement with your, arm outstretched, or else you'll sound like Hillary, blaming Trump. No, but Obama didn't do that. Obama didn't do any of the positive stuff. It was all negative racial arson. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because he squandered the gift that he had, that he could have given the world. He could have given this country. And he squandered it because all he knows is how to be a community agitator. And we all suffered. We're still going through it. And they're still lying about it. And they're still using the most ridiculous rhetoric imaginable for common sense people. All right, this is a tough story here. Anthony Cabasa says, a man who took 3 lives and left at least 4 others injured is an illegal alien who entered the country illegally in 2022, but was released back into the U.S. by the then Biden administration. It is believed, not confirmed, it is believed this man was allowed to obtain a commercial driver's license in California due to California's sanctuary laws. Let me look this up in Grok. But they're saying Bill Malugin is confirming the truck driver who killed 3 and injured others in the fatal freeway crash in Ontario, California, a place that I've been. I've been on this stretch of freeway on the 10. I believe it's on the 10. Ontario's like an hour east of LA on your way to the Inland Empire. I've made that drive so many times. That could have been me. My life snuffed out by somebody who had no business being in the country. Commercial driver's license. An illegal alien from where does they say he's from? I don't think they say where he's from. Let me ask Grok. Let me see if I can get any more info on this. Jashanpreet Singh. Okay, from India. Accused of driving under the influence of drugs, causing an 8-vehicle pileup. Yep, on Interstate 10 in Ontario, California. Killed 3 people, including a roadside mechanic who was assisting with a tire change. Oh, man. Incident captured on dash cam footage from Singh's truck showing him failing to brake before slamming into stop traffic, igniting a massive fire. Toxicology tests confirmed impairment. And he faces charges of gross vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated and DUI causing bodily injury. Detained without bail. That's what you're supposed to do with people that are assaulting others. It's San Bernardino County's West Valley Detention Center. ICE detainer logged due to immigration status. First court appearance scheduled October tomorrow. National debate linked to federal immigration policies under Biden admin and California state-level practice for issuing driver's license. Illegally crossed U.S.-Mexico border March 22 near El Centro, California. Apprehended shortly after, but then just dumped back into the United States instead of sent back to where they came from. They had an alternative to detention program. Yeah, it's called Stay in Mexico. Are you kidding me? This policy, implemented amid a surge in border encounters, allows for monitoring with ankle bracelets or check-ins. Oh, okay, or a check-in. Yeah, maybe I'll check in, or maybe I'll just never see you ever again. Instead of full detention for non-criminal, it is a crime to break into the country, pending immigration hearings. Yeah, build hotels in Mexico, and you got to stay over there. If you don't have a ticket, you don't get to come inside and hang out while we figure it out. You wait outside. This is common sense. I don't want to hear a single slur. I don't want to hear a single bad name for anyone that wants to use that policy. That policy is just, it's standard promoter lifestyle. If you don't have a ticket, you wait outside. That's it. That's all. No biggie. We don't need to punch you or execute you if you tried to get in without a ticket, but you don't get to come in and wait while we figure it out. Because we know how many of those people just run into the crowd and we'd lose them. No idea who they are. Here's the video of it. Oh, it's just unfortunate.
Now take a look. This is exclusive dash cam video that is now the subject of several law enforcement investigations. Shows the moment a red semi-truck plowed into a number of vehicles on.
Oh, so then even right at the very end, there were two cars on the side of the road, and it killed one of the guys that was working on changing a tire. That's awful.
The westbound 10 freeway in Ontario just after 1 p.m. yesterday. The CHP told the LA Times.
Right there. That truck is being serviced, and it goes right in between them.
The driver
Where is that?
Of this
oh, man.
big rig is a 21-year-old man who is now under arrest on suspicion of driving under the influence of drugs. A total of 4 semis were involved and also 4 passenger vehicles, one of them exploding in flames. 3 people were killed and 4 others were taken to local hospitals. This horrific crash happened just east of the 15 freeway and shut down all westbound.
And the 15 is where you take the 10 east out of LA and you grab the 15 to go northeast into Vegas.
Lanes for more than 12 hours.
I've taken this drive so many times.
Thousands of drivers were trapped in the gridlock just as the evening commute was getting underway. It also happened near the Ontario airport, so the crash likely delayed people that were trying to get to their flights. Now take a look. This is exclusive.
Ugh, man, they had no chance.
Dash cam video that is now the subject of.
Terrible. Democrats need to start getting sued for the ramifications of their traitorous policy positions. Biden admin has blood on their hands here. Brutal. So many traffic problems. Yeah, you have to, it's kind of a pretty important thing that you. Yeah, what kind of drugs? I'm curious as well. East Indian? How do you know? Why would you guess East Indian? Is there a difference with names or looks or something? David's up in Canada. I mean, Canada's been invaded by Indians. A very organized effort to create satellite populations. Like how Elon's trying to take humanity up to Mars. These other countries are trying to build enclaves inside America well, they're trying to do it all over the globe, really. Take military-aged fighting men, military-aged men of fighting age. There we go. I went to Vancouver. It did not strike me much as Canada. It was very Indian. I was fairly surprised by that. But yeah, you should have very high standards. Number 1, you got to be a citizen. Number 2, you have to be able to read, write, and speak English. And 3, you shouldn't be on drugs. I don't know what. That is a good question, though. What kind of drugs? Kenneth, you said sound. I have sound. Now I have sound again. All right. Well, here's two people I would like to not see take over New York. I'd like to see the one, Curtis Sliwa. I'd like to see Cuomo drop out. But he goes after Zohran Mamdani. This is the snake eating its own tail here. You have ideologies that cannot be compatible. But the Democrats keep lying to you that, oh, no, we have coalitions. No, you don't. No, you don't. All you're relying on is the enemy of my enemy being my friend, but that's not foreign policy. That's a fool's errand. So what's going on? Are you pro-Islamist or pro-gay? You cannot be both.
You take a picture with Rebecca Kadaga, Deputy Prime Minister of Uganda. You take a picture with your father. You're smiling. He's smiling. She's known as Rebecca.
Okay, hold on. Kenneth, you're saying I'm muted. I'm not muted. Can you all hear me? Thumbs up. Type in, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I've been doing sound on, sound off. Can everybody type in the comments? By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, you can hit the hearts button or the 100 button or the confetti button. That shows engagement. I like all the comments as well. Let me give you a quick update. Put this at the bottom of the screen. Just a reminder to follow the New American Media in these places. Ugh, they keep changing my design. There we go. I don't want it to ever be what they keep changing it to. It's so frustrating. Be sure to follow. Off and on working. Oh, I was turning it off. I was saying, can you hear me now? And then I'd click it off and say, can you hear me now? And then I'd say, can you hear me now? So if it was going off and on, that was me doing that intentionally. But I would say to Kenneth, if you're having an issue, hit refresh. Just refresh the feed or check your speakers. Off and on working. Oh, yes, because I can hear me here. Off. I was saying, can you hear me now? Okay, good. All right, I was saying, look at the bottom. Can you follow the New American Media on Instagram, Facebook, Truth Social, Rumble, Odyssey, Twitch, Kick, DLive, and Locals, and YouTube at the New American Media? Telegram and Signal at TNAM and TNAM Chat. We're on X at American_Media_. And subscribe to our podcast at the Agree to Disagree Show on Spotify and Apple. Also, kind of thought it was his damn earwax. Yes. Coming up on the end of the month, it would be another month of opportunity to support the New American Media on Patreon. They take maybe the smallest percentage. A little bit more than shooting it direct through Cash App or Venmo or PayPal, which is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. It's my name, or on PayPal, it's an email, fuzzinstallment@yahoo. But you can subscribe to the New American Media on Rumble. You can do Rumble rants on Rumble. You can do memberships on YouTube, super chats on YouTube. And let me do drum roll, please. Can you all go on your desk? It says that we are now only 271. We're in striking distance, people. 271 pennies in the wishing well away from enacting advertisements back onto our channel. Oh my gosh. It's been years and years since we could, yes, years and years since we had advertisements. And we've been missing out on thousands and thousands of dollars of operating costs. You know, it costs thousands of dollars to do this show every year. It's the software. The software is about $1,000 a year. Start with that. And all sorts of ancillary expenses. On top of YouTube, Google, what is it? Twitter X, you have to subscribe to. So yeah, folks, if you can go to YouTube and watch some extra content from the New American Media, super appreciated. If you can pull up another device and log in from another account to get a verified hour watch. But we have 1,900 videos over 14 and a half years, millions of views. So please consider helping us get 271 extra hours watched as soon as possible, because then we should be able to activate having advertisements on the channel again. Oh, it's been so long. I still need to verify the transfer of the super chats from September. The AdSense account was unlocked, but that's a me thing. I got to sort that out. But yes, all of your support is super appreciated. However you would like to assist us. Okay. Thanks for letting me get that out of the way. Kenneth's friend Kendall is watching as we speak. Nice. I'm software accounts. No. Yes, and hit that thumbs up button and hype it up when you can. Yeah, please share this. Text the show to a couple friends. Share it out on X and just say, hey, we're watching this right now. Join us in the chat room. We're trying to see how Zohran can both be pro-Islamist and pro-gay. Because it's impossible. It's impossible. It doesn't take long to paint these virtue signalers of the left into a corner. Because they have non-competing ideology. Non-compatible ideology, rather. The two things cannot be the same at once. So call them out on it. Which one is it? Queers for Palestine. Huh? They would throw you off the roof. Are you serious? You don't want that culture imposing its will on you. They're not very accommodating to people who have different opinions on life. Oh, yeah, but yep. Super queer for Palestine, are you now? Okay. Anyway. Here's Andrew Cuomo.
Gay killer Kadaga.
Question.
You're a citizen of Uganda. You took the picture. You said you didn't know who she was. It turns out you did. How do you not renounce your citizenship or demand BDS against Uganda for imprisoning people who are gay just by their sexual orientation? Isn't that a basic violation of human rights?
I think he gets the question.
And you take a picture with Rebecca.
And in one hand, like, you take pictures with anyone, you don't know who anyone is. I don't always blame, but if he's lying about not knowing him and they actually do, then that is sort of evidence of, you're up to something you're not supposed to be doing, and we're on to you kind of thing. Cheers from my pal with a Stein. Yes, I have the Don't Tread on Me mug, but I also have the New American Media mug. If anyone wants one, shoot $40 over. That'll include about $10 in shipping. Get that mailed right out to you. Kenneth has a mug for the New American Media. John created the mugs. Thank you, John. I think I have 17 left, and I'd like to get one to everyone. So let me know if you would like one. That's another way to support the show. So yeah, well, anyway. Yeah, I don't like Cuomo. Curtis is the guy. Yeah, how can the most important city in the world elect a 34-year-old with zero executive experience? I would like to see Cuomo drop out and support Sliwa and say, look, I'm going to join his campaign, and when he wins, I'm going to take on this role in the administration. That's what Bobby Kennedy did. And they coalesced their party so that they could raise their focus. They could narrow their focus to take Mamdani, and defeat him politically. Three-way race is going to... That's how Bill Clinton got in. It was supposed to be George W. Bush. But Ross Perot came in like gangbusters, but then he got blackmailed because of his... I think he had a lesbian daughter... and something about they were going to put intimate details out. And he's like, now, hold on. Now, wait a minute. Hold on. Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? Yeah. Now, yeah, if I wasn't there, Bill Clinton wouldn't have got in. I haven't done a Ross Perot impression in a while. He just passed away a couple years ago. Anyway. All right. This is Blaze Media. The left puts their most radical fanatics in the education system for a reason. I remember being told by someone that I cares about me, allegedly, that I was being reckless. I was calling out the teachers after Charlie Kirk was killed, so I'm going to endanger teachers. Huh? Yeah, there might be shootings at schools because people like you are blaming the teachers for Charlie Kirk. I'm like, first off, don't you fucking yell at me because your side just executed one of my side's best communicators, you asshole. How did this happen? You're yelling at me because I'm pointing out the obvious that there's a lot of people in the education system that are calling for this stuff? Okay. It was just weird. I got attacked. You're going to encourage. Don't you know that I'm in a relationship with a teacher, and if something happened, you would be responsible for the person if something bad happening because you're blaming him for Charlie Kirk? I'm like, so are you telling me without telling me that you feel the same way as the people that wanted to end Charlie Kirk's life because they disagreed with something he said, which is utterly terroristic and traitorous? I think she told it. People kind of tell on themselves sometimes. I think this person was mad at me because they were celebrating Charlie Kirk and I was calling it out, and they didn't like that. They didn't like that I was calling it out. Well, we got a huge problem in our air quote education indoctrination system.
Vile reactions to Charlie's murder have almost all been public school teachers and college professors. Tells you a lot about what America's children are facing and why TPUSA is more important than ever. But for years, I've described the government school system as Satan's youth ministry. And you have to understand that we're not having enough kids ourselves. We're having way more than they're having. And so how do they perpetuate themselves? You have to groom. You have to indoctrinate. You have to take over institutions because the institution that is supposed to inculcate and pass on the family, you have forsaken it. And so you have to take over the cultural institutions as a substitute for the family, put government in charge as a substitute for dads, and now these become the discipleship mechanisms for the next generation. And this is how you perpetuate yourself because you're not doing it the way the creator intended. And this is why we often find the most radical and savage elements in the education system. And they have sent them on purpose into these institutions to perpetuate themselves because they don't do it the way God intended. The most vile reactions to Charlie's murder have almost
it's an absolute plan to indoctrinate these kids. It is abuse. David says, this is why I don't care if any more people wake up. It's obvious obvious that they never will if that Comey Mamdani gets elected. Teacher's pet? Likely a cat. But we're in for a lot of trouble if we don't fix our education system and the legacy media. The Democrat Party's self-destructing, and they really are the mouthpiece of what you're hearing from the education system, by and large. 90% radical left-wing. Whatever percentage you find appropriate. It's way higher than 50%. I know that much. Hold on. What's this comment? Como irrigato, Mr. Roboto. Thank you. And the voting system, of course, yes. Will Ricciardella says, here's a complete summary of immigration policy for the last 5 years. Ready? Blue states. We won't enforce federal immigration law. Biden. Me neither. Then the border collapses. Voters. Okay, fine. Then we'll elect Trump to fix it. Trump enforces the law. Blue states. Unleash street militias to block ICE. Trump sends the National Guard to protect agents. Blue states. Help fascism. Yeah, help fascism. Cool story, bro. Nick Shirley is out here, and a man calls anti-ICE protesters lunatic liberals.
Oh, now we got these protesters going after
lunatic liberals.
I'm sorry. You're calling these people lunatic liberals now?
Yeah, lunatic liberals here. I mean, look at these people. They don't even know what they're arguing for. It's really a shame. Most people aren't educated. Most people don't know how law enforcement functions work in this country. If half these people knew what, our laws are of this country and how law enforcement acts and how they're going about this, they wouldn't be this mad. I think it's an education problem.
Yeah. Do you think this is a left and right issue, or do you think it's just a law and order issue?
I think it's a law and order issue. I think people don't respect the laws of this country, and this is the outcome of that. We should support our law enforcement and everything that they do for us on a daily basis. Yeah.
They all do that. They all do that. I've noticed this is their tactic. The Antifa tactic is to say you're ugly or you're fat. I played a video yesterday. I said, you're closeted, you're gay, you're ugly. They're trained to do this. Or is it organic? I don't think it's organic. I don't think there's anything remotely organic about these people, from their opinions to their talking points, their screeching points. That's interesting. I can't call myself an Antifa expert because I haven't wasted too much of my time paying attention to them, honestly. Like, why would I? I know they're a clear and present threat. I know they're domestic terrorists, but I've only recently started watching videos with them in it to the point where I'm picking up on they like to call people ugly. It's like when Anna Kasparian fat shamed Alex Jones. It's like, hold on, haven't you been railing against fat shaming? Like, you're not supposed to comment on people's appearance, and you called him a fat fork. Only I didn't say fork. Fudge. Only I didn't say fudge. Question of the day. What's that from? Pop culture reference. Write it. Type it in the comments. Only I didn't say fudge. So the Antifa goons confront the people confronting them by calling them ugly. This is a reoccurring theme.
See, my point proven. Uneducated, they're just angry. It's pure emotion, zero logic from here. They don't know what they're arguing about. They have no idea.
And what are you guys arguing about with the police officers right now?
Bro, if the cops weren't here, I would beat your ass right now.
Really?
That's a crime. If I was you'd be arrested, but it's okay.
Uh-huh. Yep. That's what it's like out there.
Work.
Well, it's also pretty stupid behind the desk at CNN. Andrew Colvett says this is sick. Democrat Texas State Representative Jolend Jones. Her name is Jolend, like Roland with a J. I've never heard a name of Jolend before. She's got some thoughts that might lead to her getting a visit from the FBI.
I'm from the hood, okay?
Okay. Are you okay? That make you special? What are you getting at here?
So when a bully comes, like...
A bully. You mean like the principal who's enforcing the law? Or you mean like the actual bully of the side that you're representing? I think you're going to try to twist that one.
If there are no rules, you literally have to figure it out.
If there are no rules, you literally have to figure it out. No, the Trump administration is literally enforcing the rules. David got it. Kenneth didn't know that reference?
So Donald Trump has changed things.
Donald Trump is the principal, not the bully. Your side are the bullies.
And people trying to do what's always been done is not going.
People trying to do what's always been done is not going to, I don't know what you're saying.
To work. And I think that's why Democrats are losing black people. That's why they're losing poor people, because.
Why are Democrats losing black people and poor people? Okay, she didn't quite make the mistake Joe Biden said, or the honest Joe Biden thought, where he said, come on, man. What was the Biden quote about rich, poor people and black people? Like black people can be something just as something as poor people. What was this? There we go. We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. Wealthy kids, black kids, Asian kids. No, I really mean it. But think how we think about it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
As poor people.
You're losing black voters to the Democrat Party because nobody likes Democrats. You're losing poor voters who are from supporting the Democrat Party because people don't like the Democrat Party. They don't like the policies. They don't like the results. They see the destruction in mass. Aside from wimpy white women, everybody has gone to MAGA. All the demographics have shifted because the Democrat policies are destructive. They're actually just traitorous to America. Not sure who funded this, how this occurred, how this became the party platform, but my gosh, it's in severe need of a rebranding, at least.
Well, all they want is for us to fight. So if you hit me in my face, I'm not going to punch you back in your face. I'm going to go across your neck because we can go back and forth fighting each other's faces. You've got to hit hard enough where they won't come back. And so, yeah,
what are you talking about? Your side tried to kill President Trump on multiple occasions. In Butler, on the golf course in Florida. Luckily, those attempts failed. Your side took out Charlie Kirk. Unfortunately, that succeeded. She's saying that the principal of the school enforcing the rules means that you should take out the principal and slit his throat. She made the 86 motion to decapitate, to end the life of, to Islamic radical extremist, to behead the president because he's enforcing the. I just can't really follow what she's getting at.
The same way I went to New York and spoke with Governor Kathy Hochul and said, if they're going to try to wipe us out.
Okay, they're going to try to wipe us out. What is she even talking about? We're trying to remove the illegal aliens who have broken into America. There's no wiping us out. Who is us? Angry Americans, lady Americans, black Americans, Democrat Americans. What are you talking? Who's us? Who is she claiming is going to get wiped out? How is somebody supposed to do what is she to take us out, to wipe us out?
In Texas, we need to wipe out every Republican. In New York, in California.
Okay, I think wipe out, they're talking about changing the gerrymandered districts. By the way, it's my understanding, I'm open to a fact check on this, but my understanding is that the Democrats have already gerrymandered every single place they could, maybe except California, maybe a couple more in New York. They're 95% fully gerrymandered to add extra districts and add extra power, add extra control. And so the Republicans are just doing what the Democrats have done to take their power back. because the Democrats have had a leg up and they've been cheating they've had their finger on the scale the whole time. It's like if you set a bag on at the airport at the weight at the scale, and you have your foot underneath and you're lifting up on your foot to make it less weight, putting your fingers on the scales of justice. You've already rigged the system, and they're just fixing that.
In Illinois, so no one can make me feel bad about fighting for the people that I represent, because the people that I represent need someone who's willing to go in the ring and fight for them.
You want to fight. Yeah, this is the exact type of rhetoric that got Charlie Kirk murdered by a shot to the neck.
And that's exactly what I'm going to do.
So, Representative, in that context, the reality of the world is we are living in a moment where, yes, there's this shutdown going down, and Democrats on Capitol Hill are standing up for that in the way they think is working. But we hear from them.
And that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah, okay, I don't think we need that second clip there. But there you have it. Jesse Kelly talking about the communists, Comey Mamdani.
How the communists they've always been this way. They're really, really, really good at creating symbols for the communist street animals to either hate or love. And they can do this ad hoc. They can just put together one all at once if it makes sense. This would be like COVID is a great example of this. George Floyd is a great example of this. Some black gangbanger dies in Minneapolis, someone no one should care about. How do we go directly from that to more state funerals than the Queen of England? Well, the communists can tell their herd animal followers, this guy's important, this guy's a saint, this guy's important, this guy's a saint. And herd animals go where the shepherd tells them to go. And they also can and do successfully create idols for their herd animal followers to throw tomatoes at. Your liberal Aunt Peggy, the Democrat in your life, have you ever asked them, why do you hate Donald Trump so much? Of course you have, or at least it's come up in conversation. Have you ever had specifics? Do you ever get a specific? No, you don't.
No.
He's a Nazi. That's not, what? What do you?
That's not a thing.
Specifically, but what don't you like? Have you asked me why I didn't like Joe?
And by the way, I've lived many decades and I've never once met a Nazi. There's always ghosts around every corner. I don't know what they're even talking about. Never met a Nazi, never met a Klansman. Lived my whole life.
Joe Biden. Why I didn't like Barack Obama? Well, you better pull up a chair because I've got all kinds of details I can give you. They don't know why, because they've simply been told to. How the communists they've always been this way. They're really, really, really good at creating symbols for the communist street animals to either hate or love. And they can do this ad hoc. They can just put together one all at once if it makes sense. This would be like COVID is a great example of this. George Floyd is a great example of this. Some black gangbanger dies in Minneapolis, someone no one should care about. How do we go directly from that to more state funerals than the Queen of England?
Oh, okay. That was the same. That was the beginning of the clip. Yeah, the Democrats have a playbook and they just keep going right back to it. Talking about communism again, Michael Carbonara. And by the way, pinkies up to Lauren. But to be fair, says Trump gave a beautiful tribute to Hinduism in Diwali this week. Dozens of Hindus like Tulsi Cash and Usha Vance celebrated in the Oval Office. The U.S. is not a Christian nation. Trump just proved it. Well, that's not true at all. You can be a Christian nation that recognizes other things because Christian nations tolerate other people. Whereas a lot of other cultures, be it Jewish supremacism, Islamic supremacism, there's a lot of thought that, nope, it's their way or the highway. And if you're not one of them, you're subhuman. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of people out there with Jewish supremacism, Islamic supremacism. For sure. But it's a strange comment to say that the United States is not a Christian nation. It absolutely is. It was founded on Christian doctrine. I don't think we need to say Judeo-Christian. It's founded on Christian doctrine, with a welcoming attitude to other people who are not going to try to come in and subvert this country and change it into things that it is not, such as a radical Sharia country. But I didn't know Tulsi Gabbard was Hindu. So I did look it up, and it says, yes, Tulsi is Hindu. I didn't know that. Vocal about devotion to Lord Krishna's teachings, participates in Hindu festivals like Diwali, advocated for Hindu representation in American public life. I mean, you see the difference. If there's a Christian nation that allows anybody to be their thing, but, you know, not take it over and demand it. Country after country has fallen to Islam. You must do this or else, comma, ... There's a big difference there. So no, that's a false statement. Lauren, whatever your name really is. To give a shout out to other people that are into other things. Hey, you know, you can get a shout out, sure. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a shout out. Anyway, back to Comey Mamdani breaking the CCP bought American farmland near military bases. But now Trump's National Farm Security Action Plan has ended it. Take a listen.
Today, we are taking this purpose and our American farmland back. American agriculture is not just about feeding our families, but about protecting our nation and standing up to foreign adversaries who are buying our farmland, stealing our research, and creating dangerous vulnerabilities in the very systems that sustain us. Reshoring and nearshoring our food and agriculture supply chain is essential for our nation's security. In coordination with the White House, the Departments of Treasury, Defense, Homeland Security, and Justice, as well as state governors, state agriculture commissioners, local, tribal, and territorial governments, today we announced the USDA's National Farm Security Action Plan. This plan includes 7 key action items, and there's a lot of people here that I want you to hear from, so I'm not going to go one by one, but just very quickly. It's on our website. The press has gotten a preview of it, and we can ask some questions once we finish the main program. But very quickly, and perhaps the most important, the first of the 7, is securing and protecting American farmland ownership. Actively engaging at every level of government to take swift legislative and executive action to ban the purchase of American farmland by Chinese nationals and other foreign adversaries. Standing on the shoulders of great governors, 3 of whom are standing behind me, who have already been leading the way on this issue. And at the federal government level, working to do everything within our ability, including presidential authorities, to claw back what has already been purchased by China and other foreign adversaries. Additionally, working with the Treasury of the Secretary of the Treasury, along with our Defense Department, on memorandums to ensure that moving forward, there is a much more intentional look at who is buying what in this country and from where they are in the world. Today, we are taking this purpose and our...
All right, good. Yeah, don't sell our farmland to the CCP. That's for us. You got it. You get it. Got it. Good. Get it. Got it. Good. All right. Those are the stories I had for you on Instagram. Please hit like. Please hit subscribe. Remember, Rumble Rants and Super Chats are available if anyone wants to toss something in our tip jar here. Always appreciated. Let's go to We have an update here. So this is, I mean, this is good. Here, let's, I got a couple of these. Let me share the X feed. We're at American_media_ on X. Eric Daughtry reporting. Here's an update. D. Carlos Brown Jr., Irina Zarutska's killer. Say her name. Iryna Zarutska. This demon has been federally indicted and is likely to face the death penalty. Yeah, get him in the chair quickly. It's time. Live stream this. Make this pay-per-view. If that story didn't send you into a bit of an outrage, you're not paying attention. Good. But it's bigger than that. A couple stories here. C3 says, you won't believe this. Teresa Stokes released D. Carlos Brown after 14 arrests before he killed Irina Zarutska. Stokes is supposed to be supervised by Judge Roy Wiggins. Wiggins just released Paulette Gibson after 15 arrests. And Paulette just stabbed 2 people. This must stop. "15 arrests, and you let her out again and she stabs people." You should be able to, not you should be able to, you should have to defend your decisions. And if a panel of U.S. courts put 50 people, put 2 people per state, make it 100 judges. It's all done virtually. You meet once a month. You have a monthly meeting. And the worst judges have to defend their decisions. And if you can't defend it and the people vote you out, you lose your position. And how about if people get out of prison and commit crimes? How about you start holding some of these judges accountable? That one judge the other day for the big balls case, 10 to 12 people, I think, jumped big balls, pack animals, a pack animal attack. She said, oh, my job's to rehabilitate, not to incarcerate. No. Your job is to keep the monsters away from general population. Use the jails. Exactly. Matt Van Swell says, I want to give a huge shout out to North Carolina state Republicans. They accomplished 2 major feats recently. 1, Irina's Law, Iryna, say her name. Type it in the chat. Irina Zarutska. It eliminates cashless bail for violent criminals. Yeah, you commit a violent act, you don't get out. Number 2, New York redistricting gives North Carolina another GOP House seat. It's been super hard on the GOP. I've been super hard on the GOP, but this is great. Federally indicted. Justice coming, says Mark Harris, representative North Carolina. Oh, no, we didn't forget, but this was 2 days before Charlie Kirk. That was supposed to be the most difficult show I ever did. I was so gutted by what I saw. I got that white girl. I got that white girl. A racist, unprovoked, as if we even need to add that as a qualifier, as if, oh, well, if you're provoked, if something provokes you, then you're allowed to kill. That's not true. An unnecessary, unprovoked attack on Irina Zarutska. Yeah, got to hold these judges accountable too. So it's our judges, it's our education system, and it's legacy media. We got to fix these 3 things. What is this story? This is live in Charlotte, North Carolina, at the train station where Irina Zarutska was murdered.
Why CNN's not covering it, ABC and stuff. And a lot of people are saying because it was like this beautiful, young, white blonde girl attacked by a black guy, and they don't want to cover those optics. What do you think about that?
I mean, I guess like it's a bit stereotypical, but like the story itself.
Why do you think it's stereotypical? Do you think it's because it actually happens more often than?
I guess it does happen more often than I guess we can admit, and I think like.
What if I were to tell you it's 31 times more?
Oh, I've seen the statistics. I know like this. It's for there's a higher rate of violence in the African American like community, especially for men compared to.
But especially black men attacking white people in general.
Right.
It's 31 times more. So for every single white person that assaults a black person, there are 31 instances of
31 times more likely.
the reverse.
Right.
Why?
Whew. But what does the media do? The media fixates on the small handful that don't fit that narrative to try to make it seem like the actuality in the country is the exact opposite. Legacy media, people. All right. Let's go to our profile here. Right here is the link to go to our Patreon account. This is my interview with John B. Wells of Caravan to Midnight, talking God, Trump, Biden, Deep State, and World War III. So click that and subscribe to us. Yes, Marion. If the races were reversed, cities would burn. Yep. All right. Okay, well, Grok told me this is real. World Aquatics suspended a masters swimmer, Hannah Caldas, a 47-year-old man suspended for 5 years after refusing mandatory sex verification testing to compete in women's events. This follows his wins in female categories, highlighting enforcement gaps in protecting fair competition. Sources like Swim, Swam, and Daily Mail confirm the details in recent announcements. This regarding Riley Gaines put this out and says this is not AI, and this is not the Babylon Bee. Well, if it's not AI and it's not the Babylon Bee, what is it? Well, this is a man going by the name Hannah Caldas, who's trying to swim against women. Riley Gaines says it's not AI, not Babylon Bee, not a South Park episode, not a Saturday Night Live skit. This is real life. Do you see the reason why the sky is blue and water is wet and why men shouldn't compete against women? That dude is jacked. You want to live out your life in a feminine manner? Hey, I mean, it's on you, buddy. You do you. You don't get to compete and steal glory. It's stolen valor. You don't get to pretend to be a lady and take valor away. Let the ladies have their sports. Yeah, why are there no women transitioning to men than trying to compete in men's sports? None. Have you seen any? Any? I can't believe this story is real. Here's another one that I couldn't believe is real. Visegrad 24 interviews the victim of a SA attack from an illegal alien invader who broke into Sweden and destroyed this girl. Do you want people breaking into your country to destroy your girls?
Jag mår fortfarande illa när jag
I still feel sick when I think about it. I can't.
Jag har ju berättat det här
I've told this story 1,000 times, especially to the police. When I've been to district court, but I still feel that it's really hard. During the whole school year last year, I barely went to school. Now and then I still dream about it. And I've been really scared to go out and walk by myself. Why would you let somebody break into your country to damage your citizens? So I almost never go out alone now. I still break down when I sit and talk about it for a long time, especially when I go into the details.
Att det blir som att jag återupplever igen.
So it feels like I'm reliving it again, and I feel his hands on me.
Men som tur så har jag mina jättefina vänner.
Luckily, I have my great friends and my parents who have been there for me every single day. Can't make these translations.
Kommer alltid påverkas.
I'll always be affected by this. Really hope now that other girls hear this.
That's
also why I want to do it. They should also think that it's worth reporting. Even though it might not go through, but it can actually be worth it. It might help another girl. Yeah. You need to vet the people that you let into your country. The Swedish appeals court ruled that an 18-year-old Eritrean illegal alien named Mohammed, who was convicted of R-ing the 16-year-old Mia Aberg, won't be deported because the assault lasted only 20 to 30 seconds. Only. Okay. They only stuck something in. They only assaulted somebody for 30 seconds, so it doesn't count? No, that counts. You've ruined this person's life. Sweden needs to fix their criminal court system. It says it falls short of the criteria for expulsion in grave crimes. Victim detailed her trauma in Norman interviews, yet he received just 3 years in prison. Tell me, where's the redeemable quality? Tell me why you're not executing people that damage little girls. Why wouldn't you execute someone who would damage a little girl? Three years in prison. Sweden's lenient policies continue to prioritize migrant rights over victim justice. I find that to be astonishing. That story doesn't seem real to me, but unfortunately it is. All right, the number 2 House Democrat, Catherine Clark, says the quiet part out loud regarding the shutdown. Take a look at this.
I mean, shutdowns are terrible. And of course, there will be, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously. But it is one of the few leveraged times we have. I mean...
There you go. Suffering is their tool. Of course, there will be families that are going to suffer. It's one of the few leveraged times we have. Yep. You don't dislike the Democrats nearly enough. Dapper detective here. This is not too far from where I lived. Police say a brave female shopper shot dead a sex offender with gang ties who walked into a Los Angeles beauty store and began groping women before threatening to kill everyone. If Mayor of LA Karen Bass won't do her job and protect law-abiding residents, then the Second Amendment will. That's why you keep violent, crazy people away. But bravo to this lady. Here's the report.
Investigators say a woman opened fire trying to protect other shoppers.
It's seemingly business as usual here at Pink Beauty Supply on Alondra Boulevard in Compton. But Sunday, just after 3:30 p.m., an afternoon shopping trip turning deadly. The Los Angeles County Sheriff.
It says 3:30 p.m., but this picture's from nighttime, which is interesting.
Sheriff's Department says a 42-year-old man with possible gang ties was causing a disturbance inside, and that's when a woman who was a customer pulled out a gun and shot him. By the time deputies arrived, the man was already dead. Sheriff's investigators tell us that man allegedly walked into the store and groped a female customer, proceeding to throw items at the staff while claiming he could kill everybody. They say that's when a female customer opened fire twice, striking the man on the second shot.
The investigators say a woman opened fire trying to...
Bravo. Yeah, abuse the women. You should have a very strict, very quick sentence. Defend yourself with lethal force. Move along. Don't care about the race of the victim. Don't care about the race of the perpetrator. I care about the actions. Threatening to K everybody inside the store. Okay. Remember, that's exactly what happened to Daniel Penny, and New York went after him to try to ruin his life. Had to restrain a crazy, violent guy that was threatening to K the people on that train. Shame on the Democrats for going after the law and order people. Shame on the Democrats for letting out crazy, violent people. John, that's a good point. I only robbed the bank a few seconds. Okay. You were free to go. And then that. Thanks, Obama. It's an inside joke. Liz Wheeler reporting on Portland. Media won't even touch these stories.
And there you have it, the first ever video inside an Antifa safe house. Brandy, give me your reaction to this, because you saw this sort of thing when you were on the ground too.
Yeah, and I knew, so I went down to Portland for a few days, frankly, because I just didn't know what to believe. There was so many different narratives about what was happening in Portland. So I'm like, no, I gotta make a trip down there and see it. And I knew where this safe house was.
Spence, you can stop.
And I knew where that safe house was. First of all, yeah, that's totally not organized at all. All these people just spontaneously, show up in their black bloc and, find a place to stay. And one of the things that's most nefarious about that, I think,
super spontaneous,
that hasn't really gotten enough attention, is that safe house is within an affordable housing apartment, which is kitty corner from the ICE facility. And these are people who, one of that sticks out to me is there's this kind of middle-aged black woman who several months ago was confronting Antifa saying, I cannot sleep. She was being terrorized.
Oh, yeah, we played that video.
Night after night, living in this affordable apartment building. And so you got this black woman who the woke left is supposed to love. And you've got these young white punks who are screaming at her, threatening her, vilifying her for coming out and saying, I cannot.
Young white punks. Young white thugs. It's not about what you look like. It's about your actions. This is a theme. It's a theme.
Sleep because of what you guys are doing night after night. So I don't know. This building gets taxpayer funds. How are they? And they're using it to harbor left-wing terrorists who are going there. And then my other thought was, I cannot imagine how bad it smells in there. I cannot imagine how bad it smells in there. I have to ask Nick Sorter about that. But there's clearly a level of organization. I mean, there was also some video from Nick Shirley, I believe, who, caught people coming in and out with U-Haul trailers filled to the brim with supplies. And there was also a storage unit where supplies were being taken from and brought to this encampment that they've set up on the sidewalk. So someone's paying for all of this. And having met and seen many of these left-wing extremists in person, they're not paying for it. I can promise you. I really don't think many of them have jobs. And so somebody is paying for it. And sometimes they're stealing this stuff. I mean, one of the frustrations of the people in this affordable housing building, many of whom are older, is they were raiding the food bank that's meant for the people who live in that affordable apartment complex. And they were taking it to their street camp. And so, they don't care about people of color. They don't care about the poor. And the media in Portland won't even touch that. It's like, wait a second, Antifa militants are holed up in an affordable apartment building that's paid for in part with taxpayer funds, and they're stealing food from a food bank that's meant to help the poor and elderly. And you're not even willing to talk about that? It's insane.
Yeah, because Antifa is not real. It's just an idea. Right. None of this stuff is happening. It's just abstract. It's our imagination. We're looking at a dog, but we actually are, seeing something else. It's crazy. And there.
Yeah, Antifa's not real. More Portland stuff. Here's Andy No. Two-tier policing in favor of the far left. James Klug captures a moment where police threatened a conservative driver with a traffic violation, while at the same time they were allowing rioters to occupy the road.
This isn't peaceful.
Volume.
Do you see any of these people being peaceful? I haven't called you. You called me a 3 times. I haven't called you a name, but I guarantee you're unemployed. I guarantee you're unemployed. I guarantee. Where do you work?
Across the street.
Sir, and you're a liar.
We
don't have to. No. She can't make you leave. They're doing the same thing.
This is a traffic violation.
Oh, okay.
This is a traffic violation. Get it out of here.
All right, Portland PD shutting this down.
Traffic violation, but those people can block the roads. Okay.
It's the traffic violation.
Besides, you guys just standing here. I'm just asking you a question. I live here. What are you guys doing?
Do not interrupt me in a traffic stop. Get over there now.
This isn't.
Do not interrupt me at a traffic stop. Get over there now. Angry, angry lady.
Question, I live here.
That's next.
What are you guys
Do not
doing?
interrupt me in a traffic stop. Get over there now.
Get over there now.
Interrupt me in a traffic stop. Get over there now.
This isn't peace.
But they're ignoring the people blocking the roads. That's allowable. Don't interrupt me during a traffic stop. Get over there now.
What are you
Do
guys
not
doing?
interrupt me in a traffic stop. Get over there now.
Now.
Interrupt me in a traffic stop. Get over there now.
Now.
Get over there now.
Now. All right. Okay, we are seeing these videos. I talked about this yesterday. I didn't play a lot of these yesterday because yesterday's show went very, 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 very long while we unpacked what was happening in the universe. So here we are. One bad dude says, I see a lot of videos like this claiming that crime is going to go up when people start losing food stamps. Why haven't I seen a single one of these people say that they're going to go out and get a job? What is this?
Cars, lock your house up. If you're one of them people that just leave your car unlocked, parked in your driveway, you better lock it. With the food stamps being gone and people not gonna have no, people gonna eat, okay? Nobody's just gonna, this is 2025, nobody's just not gonna eat.
All right, lady, hold on. You are eating too much. You are severely overweight. Not to pass judgment, not to like punch down or be mean. But the way to lose weight is to eat less. That's one of the key points that you start with. Start and stop with, well, eat less.
Driveway, you better lock it. With the food stamps being gone and people not gonna have no, people gonna eat, okay? Nobody's just gonna, this is 2025, nobody's just not gonna eat. Nobody's, food stamps, I'm telling you right now, even with the government shutdown and the food stamps and stuff being gone for next month, and it's gonna affect everybody, there's about to be a lot of stuff going on, okay? I'm not even gonna talk about it too much, because hey, you know what's about to happen. Lock your cars, lock them. Y'all better lock y'all cars at night, lock your cars, lock your house up. If you're one of them people that just leave your car unlocked.
Okay, this is strange. There's a lot of these videos if I scroll around. Okay, Wall Street Apes reporting this. Phone records show a 33-year-old Muslim was very excited and knew ahead of time about the October 7th attack on Israel. Let's listen to this clip here.
We don't know how many terrorists the Biden administration let into the country, but we just found one in Lafayette, Louisiana. Mahmoud al-Muhtadi. He's 33 and he's from Gaza.
We got music here. Anyway, his phone was traced to a location where 60 people were killed, including 4 Americans. He fled to Egypt. Then Joe Biden granted him a visa inside America. We don't know how many terrorists the Biden admin let into the country, but we just found one in Lafayette, Louisiana. This guy from Gaza got word on okay, so he knew the attack was going to happen. Records of him on the phone calling for people to enter Israel, said the border was open, bring your guns, bring your ammo, meet me. He was very excited this is going to cause a third world war. There are phone records of basically tracing his phone near a kibbutz where 60 people were killed, including 4 Americans, and a number of people were kidnapped. He then went to Cairo in Egypt, applied for permanent visa, also known as a green card, to come to the U.S. The Biden admin welcomed him in 2024. That's insane. Oh, here's another one. What about Laura Loomer breaking a story about Muslims bathing in congressional bathrooms? Inside the U.S. Senate yesterday, where Hamas and Muslim Brotherhood-affiliated jihadist activists were lobbying congressional Democrats during the government shutdown. Here's Laura Loomer talking with Tommy Tuberville.
I think it's really horrible what happened to your staffer today, but you know, it's just shocking. Before you go, perhaps you can just, you know, confirm just very briefly. I know you have to go right now, but you guys saw women dressed in niqab The only thing you can see were their eyes through the little slits, and your staffers saw these men praying on the floor of the Senate and washing their feet in the bathroom.
Yeah, they were using the bathroom for a opportunity to prepare for their prayer. You know, and I don't know how they do it in the Muslim countries, but since they have been coming to the United States of America, they stop traffic, they get in Times Square, they do everything they possibly can to showcase what they're doing and who they are. That's the reason they have no fear. And you know, it's like how they treat women. It's absolutely embarrassing that we would allow some kind of cult like this to come to our country to treat women like this. And for some reason, the far left Democrats, they stand up for these people.
I don't understand it. They're anti-women and they're anti-gay, and that's supposed to trump what the Democrats are supportive of, except it doesn't for some reason.
And again, if you come here, go by our Constitution, do things right, try to assimilate, I'm fine with it. But if you're going to come over and preach death and how you treat women and marry 3 or 4 different people, I mean, it's that's above and beyond. So I'm with you, Laura. If you keep pushing this, you and I and a lot of others, a few in the House, we're going to make some progress on this. But we cannot give up, because I promise you, they're coming. And we got to find some answer to this, and it's going to start in the House, it's going to be in the Senate, and also going to be in the White House, like you said, with President Trump. He understands the situation, but you know, there's so many problems up here right now. We're lucky to be holding on to this country, and thank God President Trump got elected.
All right, well said. Laura Limmer, Senator Tommy Tuberville. Paul Cisbula shares this clip from this. Remember this weirdo? Former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot? Huh. She's got an idea of how to be even more anti-American regarding ICE.
We start the process of unmasking the agents. Even though they're wearing masks, every single one of them has a towel.
You say unmasking, they're going to say you're going to dox them, and that's why threats against them are up.
They are on public property, out in the open. We have an absolute right under our Constitution to be able to document what's happening.
To dox. You said document, but you mean dox. You mean to put hit lists out.
Every single one of those agents, height, weight, hair color, they wear their vests in a particular way. They're wearing insignias. Even the masks that they wear, the shoes that they wear, the cars that they're driving.
Right. Why are you doxing law enforcement?
We have a right to compile that information and put together a profile of each of these agents that's alleged to have committed crime. This is not about doxing them. This is not about putting them in danger, and I'm sure we're going to hear that. But as residents of this city in the metropolitan area, we have a right to know who's doing what, and supposedly in our name, but we believe that they are committing crimes, and it needs to be investigated, and then let a grand jury, let the prosecutor make a determination.
Are you saying you're going to compile this information then and then take legal action, civil action?
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to compile the information, and hopefully it's going to compel local law enforcement, the state's attorney, and others to do their jobs and investigate the allegations of serious crimes being committed.
Yeah. Democrats view it to be a serious crime that you remove people that don't belong in America. That's not a serious crime. That's the most basic thing we ask of government, is to keep people from invading this country. American AF says, here's a liberal woman who believes that black countries are better than all others, claiming they don't have nuclear weapons and have never conquered other countries. All right, come on. This isn't a real clip. This isn't a real skit, is it? What's this?
There are 54 countries on the continent of Africa that are black countries. There are 16 in the Caribbean that are black countries. That means out of 195 countries in the world, 70 are black countries. Yet not one of those 70 countries has a nuclear weapon. Not one has built weapons of mass destruction to threaten the world. Not one has ever invaded another land.
Is that music in the background? I think there's music.
To steal, conquer, or enslave. Think about
All right, I'm going to stop there, claiming that none of these countries have invaded other countries. You've heard of the Crusades to push back the Caliphate, right? The Caliphate was to overthrow Christian lands. So I don't know. There's music in the background. I can't play it. Anyway, watch it. Sounds interesting. Okay, who's this girl? Elle or Ellie? L? The disrespected trucker says, I hope L here is investigated. Let's watch her. More of this meltdown over EBT.
For those of you laughing because I'm on welfare, I just want to show you something real quick. This is my upcoming pending deposit for SNAP EBT for November. If you are laughing at me right now because you think that I'm going to suffer come November, you better think again. I know how to work the system into my favor. I know how to get what I want. I have
Oh, do you?
multiple sources of income, and that's where a lot of you go wrong. You rely on one source of income, but if you had multiple, if something like this were to happen where EBT gets shut down, you still have your other sources of income. But regardless, I'm still gonna get my EBT money for November. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm gonna get mine, and that's that. Love you.
So they're calling for investigation into her, that she's scamming the system, making actual money and then claiming she's not. This here is the beginning of the movie Idiocracy from 2006. Jeez, 19 years ago. I can't play it because of copyright, but it just kind of shows how the responsible family who's doing things the right way, they're not having kids. Oh, there's reasons and things are difficult and, career and, it's not a good time in the market. Meanwhile, all these white trash families, and by the way, you can be any color and be white trash. You can just be a trash family. How about that? I don't like that white people are only blamed with being trashy, because anybody can be trashy. But the dumbest among us, not the fungus among us, like the album from Incubus, but the dumbest among us are reproducing like crazy, having 20, 30, 40, 50 kids in their family tree. And the smart people that are trying to do things the right way, they're telling like, oh, the world's overpopulated, or, I got to focus on my career. I don't want to have kids. It's just one of the many ways that the responsible residents of America are being replaced, indoctrinated in schools to say, oh, we're overpopulated, we can't have kids. Stealing the value of our dollar, making it tougher and tougher to pay bills. Well, you can't afford a kid. Okay. Only certain people can be trash pandas. Yeah, anybody can be trash, but only elite can become trash pandas. Marion, what? Over $4,000 on EBT? It is upside down world. Anyway, I can't play you this clip, but it's funny. Vince Langman reminds us that George Ryan was the governor of Illinois who went to prison for selling commercial driver's licenses to unqualified drivers after one of them was involved in a fatal car crash that offed 6 children. Does this sound familiar, Gavin Newsom? You need to start holding these politicians accountable. Here's our show from yesterday. The silly Schumer shutdown is about to fail as Dems jump ship? ? Maybe, maybe not. One bad dude here puts this out and says, I'm starting to think that people are taking advantage of the food stamp program. Really? What's this lady have to say about it?
You know what? If I don't get my food stamps, I'm going to Walmart, I'm going to rack up, and I'm going to ride right out the door, and I dare anybody to put their hands on me. I'm going back to stealing, so you better lock your cars. I'm going to take everything in sight. I'm tempted to think these are fake videos,
but it's impossible to tell the difference between reality and satire at this point. Because I also sort of think this could be real.
You know what? If I don't get my food stamps, I'm going to Walmart, I'm going to rack up, and I'm going to ride right out the door, and I dare anybody to put their hands on me. I'm going back to stealing, so you better lock your cars. I'm going to take everything in sight.
A lot of these crash out videos are happening. Okay, Lee Zeldin for the win, confirming stratospheric chemical spraying. I'll take this. Shared from Medea Greer. Sulfur dioxide into the sky being sprayed. Health risks are real. What used to be called conspiracy is now called official policy. EPA Chief Lee Zeldin confirms that dangerous chemicals, including sulfur dioxide, are being released into the sky for geoengineering. Health risks are real. Environmental damage guaranteed. This is no longer conspiracy. It's official. Here you go. Take a watch.
Concerned Americans have urgent and important questions about geoengineering and contrails. The American public deserves and expects honesty and transparency from their government when seeking answers.
Yes.
But for years, people who asked questions in good faith were dismissed, even vilified by the media and their own government. That era is over. The Trump EPA is committed to total transparency. As a result, I tasked my team at EPA to compile a list of everything we know about contrails and geoengineering for the purpose of releasing it to you now publicly. In other words, I want you to know everything I know about these topics and without any exception. Instead of simply dismissing these questions and concerns as baseless conspiracies, we're meeting them head on. We did the legwork, looked at the science, consulted agency experts, and pulled in relevant outside information to put these online resources together. Everything we know about contrails to solar geoengineering will be in there. That means anyone who reads through this information will know as much about these topics as I do as EPA administrator. To anyone who's ever looked up to the streaks in the sky and asked, what the heck is going on? Or seen headlines about private actors and even governments looking to blot out the sun in the name of stopping global warming?
We hear this all the time.
We've endeavored to answer all of your questions at the links on your screen. In fact, EPA shares many of the same concerns when it comes to potential threats to human health and the environment, especially from solar geoengineering activities. The enthusiasm for experiments that would pump pollutants into the high atmosphere has set off alarm bells here at the Trump EPA. Prior to now, EPA has never been this proactive to raise awareness about concerns with geoengineering and to stop this activity from being scaled up. This is what it looks like when government actually listens to the will of the people and doesn't try to squash it. You can always trust this administration and this EPA to take your concerns seriously, answer your questions honestly, and carry out the will of voters with integrity.
Thank you. Please stop this immediately. We didn't vote for this.
Concerned Americans have...
Thank you, Lee Zeldin. Ooh, in case you missed it, John Brennan. He's been referred for criminal indictment. This cannot happen fast enough. You must go after the traitors who staged the coup to overthrow our nation. Here's John Brennan, who's been referred for criminal prosecution. TikTok, traitor.
Well, when these things happen, I certainly get mad, I get angry. I also get sad that this is the state of our country, the state of our politics these days. The fact that individuals like a Jim Jordan are going to go after somebody. I served nearly 3.5 decades in public service.
Oh, excuse me. This was not serving. This was selling out America.
After somebody, I served nearly 3.5 decades.
served. What a self-serving phrase. Served. No, you were committing treason. You were an enemy behind the gates. You were a wolf in sheep's clothing. You're a traitorous, treacherous, diabolical, civil rights violating creep who's been infecting government for 3 decades. That's not serving.
It's in public service. A lot involved in counterterrorism in the aftermath of 9/11. They don't care about doing things like this to destroy individuals.
Wow, says the deep state member who did everything possible to destroy President Trump. Is this real life?
Go after me, to hurt me and my family and others.
You know what? You hurt yourself with your own actions of treason, pal.
And so, I'm saddened by what has happened. Sometimes I'm dispirited and disheartened. At the same time, I feel motivated to be able to stand up. And I'm glad that other people are standing up as well. And I see that more and more people are
standing up for treason?
They're starting to realize what Donald Trump is all about. And so I'm hoping that the Republicans in Congress, I know it's a wish that I've had for quite a while, they're really going to draw the line.
And this lady's husband is married to a deep state actor, I believe. I'm sorry, this lady is married to a man who's a deep state actor. I think I said that wrong.
When they look at what's happened against the White House, it's such a vivid depiction and symbolic of what's going on to this country. But the abuse of
And also, would you look at what's going on to the White House? Yeah, it's called a renovation, you F-wad. I'm well aware.
I know it.
What a man.
It's a wish that I've had for quite a while. They're really going to draw the line. And when they look at what's happened against the White House, it's such a vivid depiction.
What's happened against the White House? It's vivid. What is he talking about?
Happened against the White House.
It's overacting right here. This guy's such a scummy liar.
That I've had for quite a while. They're really going to draw the line. And when they look at what's happened against the White House,
when they look at what's happened against the White House, what a strange phraseology here.
It's a wish that I've had for quite a while. They're really going to draw the line. And when they look at what's happened against the White House, it's such a vivid depiction.
It's such a vivid depiction. It's called a renovation and a modernization, you goofball.
What's going on to this country?
You say diabolical to do a renovation for free?
The depiction and symbolic of what's going on to this
symbolic
country. But
look at that. It's so symbolic. Yeah, it's an upgrade, MFer. It's an upgrade. That's what's happening in the country. A massive upgrade, despite your best efforts to frame an innocent man, to throw him into jail for the rest of his life, if not to explode him in Butler, Pennsylvania. Screw you, John Brennan. Your indictment can't happen fast enough. Brennan, Comey, Clapper, Obama, Clinton, all of you did this to yourselves. Yeah, it is so symbolic. It's called an upgrade.
I know it's a wish that I've had for quite a while. They're really going to draw the line. And when they look at what's happened against the White House, it's such a vivid depiction and symbolic of what's going on to this country. But
it's symbolic with what's going on to the country. He can't even speak properly. He's not making sense how he's phrasing these things. Yeah, it's called an upgrade.
Abuse of.
Oh, no, an upgrade is called abuse. No, what you did was abuse, and you're going to be held accountable for it, punk.
Power.
No, you had abuse of power. You and Obama, Biden.
The desecration of the rule of law.
You desecrated the rule of law, Brennan.
The fact that Donald Trump continues to do these things, why they continue to allow it, I think it's going to hurt the Republicans over in the long term. And just doing this right now to be able to satisfy the whims of Donald Trump, I never thought we would face a situation like this throughout the course.
You never thought you'd get caught.
My career.
Is what you're saying. You never thought you were going to get held to account. We said tick-tock, that's the sound of the treason clock. Unreal. Did you hear this video? Here's an anti-ICE protester in Los Angeles issuing a threat to ICE agents. Okay. Do your job, FBI.
Don't forget where you're standing. This is South Central Los Angeles. They are not the only ones with guns in this city. They're not the only ones, and don't forget that. And I don't say that because we're calling for violence. I'm saying that because the people have every right to defend themselves against masked, unidentified gunmen with AR-15s and other military rifles. The people have every right to defend themselves. Don't forget.
It's a bold strategy. What is this? Gunther Eagleman reporting. Muslims are now declaring that Las Vegas is no longer Sin City. They've renamed it Halal City. America needs to wake up to the spread of Islam. It'll end up worse than Europe if we don't stop it now, he says.
This is amazing today. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
You refrain from idle thought, but your family, your spouse, your children, they didn't do any of that. And you didn't warn them, you didn't try to fix them. You're also responsible for them as well. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst the khashi'in.
Las Vegas now.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst the musallin, the people who establish the prayer.
Okay. There's this scene from a public school in Chicago of a teacher holding the door closed against a deranged student is going viral. Lots of crash outs. Guy's like, oh, I'll take some help. Woman's huge.
Too many weird bitches in school.
It's the state of America. It's just there's no like coaching, teaching, punishment mechanism anywhere. Mary King shows white fast food workers threatened and called racial slurs by two black customers at the drive-thru. Imagine being this loud and being this wrong.
They ain't got no gloves. On the commercials, they be lying.
Fucking misunderstood.
Okay, sir. Well, if you paid $1.28.
Okay, so she made that motherfucking mistake. Don't I know if give me get here, cause I'm about to slay this motherfucking barbecue sauce on your motherfucking ass, bitch. Fuck ass cracker. Hey.
Ah, casual racism. Isn't that swell?
Fuck ass cracker. Hey. Come here.
Go ahead, let me see my nuggets.
Come here.
Let me see.
Give me the name of the corporate. I want the name of the corporate. I asked you to give me. I asked you to give me the name of the corporate. Give me the name of the corporate. It's where on the receipt.
I just got a special place in my heart for people that are rude to food service workers. And that special place is go to hell. You ever work these jobs? You know, they're kind of tricky. They're kind of tough sometimes. And crashing out on food workers is never cool.
Fuck you, champ looking bitch. Troll asshole. Huh?
Oh my god. Alvin, what the freak?
Hey man, get the fuck off, you stupid ass stuff. Fuck you, bitch! I know what the fuck I'm doing. Fuck you!
Is America crashing out entirely? No,
Oh my God.
other people in what is it? And these people would record themselves proudly displaying this is how we act in public.
Just come on.
Get the shit straight next time, ho.
Just come on.
You tramp bitch.
I don't like people that are mean to animals, and I don't like people that are mean to food service workers. Okay, so what's this here? Kim Katie USA says, unbelievable. Employees of the Max Diaz State Farm on Spalding Avenue and 26th Street in Chicago harbored a fugitive of the law and refused to turn them over after the suspect ran inside. It's time for another boycott, Patriots. I don't know the context here, but what's the video?
See what you guys are causing? You see what you guys are causing?
What you guys are causing. Love the blame game. No, coming here illegally is what caused this. The Democrats caused this. That's a honking trick. I guess America honks. America runs on Duncan. America honks. Andrew Colvett says the Minnesota Supreme Court just ruled that this guy can compete against women. Does that seem fair to you? You would think it's a joke, but it's not. Oh, this is a hilarious clip on MSNBC. Check this one out. MSNBC says the reason Abigail Spanberger is struggling. Well, she wouldn't denounce that was his name Jay Johnson or Jay Jones? Jay. The guy who fantasized about wiping out his political opponent and then taking out his children as well. She wouldn't denounce and was standing up there smug while Winsome Sears. Another lady, by the way, called for her to denounce it and she refused to and smugly just, nope, I'm not doing that. Which, you know, it's condoning it in these terms. She's failing because of why. MSNBC is hilarious.
It really
Jay Jones.
is incredible when you have Abigail Spanberger, Mikey Sherrill, her background, all the different jobs that she has held.
Oh, you mean she had different jobs? Okay.
In the military, and also like Alyssa Slotkin. I mean, my God, these women are incredible. And to them, I would say fight.
Yeah, look at this character. Well, you got the race hustler, Al Sharpton here. And this is classic. If you went to a Spirit Halloween store and asked for a liberal costume, you would get extra thick glasses, dyed hair.
Fight, because we need them. Yeah, we need them. And
to fight. What does that even mean?
And Mikey is like, she's doing a ton of interview. You know, when I talked to that, when I was in the car, you know, it was this car, she had gone from interview to talk to, but you know, you still see the anxiety.
Yeah, Cheryl did have a few missteps in her campaign, but she still has, as you say, about a 5 or 6 point lead per polling. Spanberger's lead in Virginia, a little bigger than that. But, you know, both still competitive races here heading into the last couple of weeks. But to Mika, to Molly's point, I mean, this is something that a lot of Democrats are grappling with right now. So they've nominated women 2 of the last 3 elections for the presidency, lost both. There are some who say, well, we can't do that again. The stakes are too high. But of course, that does fall into the same misogynistic trap.
Other countries have no problem electing women.
Yeah, it's a misogynistic issue. Well, Spanberger is running against a woman, says Ron DeSantis. So
it really is
pretty ridiculous. Whoo, eyebrows. Corey DeAngelis shares this. This mom demanded her child be removed from a teacher's class after the teacher was caught on video celebrating Charlie Kirk's death on Saturday. The school rejected the mom's request and defended the teacher. This is Obsidian Middle School in Canocti Unified School District, allegedly. What is this?
I went back up to the school to demand my child be removed from the class, which they still denied, even though I said, hey, I don't feel safe my child being in this lady's classroom, even more so now because she's receiving a lot of threats. The school has been leaked. Yada, da, 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 da. Will there be a substitute teacher? I'm not sending my child back to the school until he gets a new class. Or will there be a substitute? Will she continue to teach? They said, why wouldn't she? And you expect me to send my child into a classroom with a lady who's getting threats, whom she told me last week that she does not like my child. And if this was a month ago and she knew how he was, she would have had him removed from his. I went back up to the school to demand my child be removed from the class, which they still denied, even though I said, hey, I don't feel safe my child being in this lady's classroom, even more.
All right. Ooh, okay. Yeah. The left. Oh, the left. Remember when Obama did renovations to put, whoa, geez, Nimbus, hi. He just reached, come here. Come on. He just reached out with his claws and got my leg. I did not know he was here. Come on. You coming up or what? There he is. I got you. Here, let's sit. Okay. Okay, you can sit right here. I believe this is when Obama was putting in a basketball court.
Sounds like you're building another wing to the White House, but we appreciate you keeping your focus.
Happy smiles. All at taxpayer expense.
2 years. All of the banging, the jackhammering, the dust, the confusion, the noise of all places to do construction is happening right here, the front lawn of the White House.
It's a 4-year renovation project. Estimated cost, $376 million.
Oh, okay. All smiles and no big deal. Obama's $376 million White House renovation, fully funded by taxpayers, unlike President Trump's $250 to $300 million ballroom that he's paying for by himself. It's going viral as viewers call out Democrat hypocrisy and fake outrage. Amiri King is on one today. He says, here's a fat black woman warning white people there's going to be an uptick in violence, robberies, and break-ins if food stamps aren't reactivated immediately. Are these all real videos?
This message is for everybody that's not on food stamps and that is on TikTok laughing and just so happy that people ain't gonna get their food stamps. This message is for y'all. Y'all be like, oh, I got a job. I can pay for my food. Y'all ain't gonna have food stamps. How y'all gonna eat? Baby, how you think they gonna eat? Off you. Yeah, off you. You know how many homes about to get broken into? You know how many people about to get knocked over the head coming out their job?
Wow.
Or leaving the ATM or the bank?
Wow.
You know how many people about to get set the fuck up? I'm just saying, while you over there laughing, grinning, cheesing, looking like Chester the cat, baby,
Cheshire cat.
They gonna go for y'all first. They coming for y'all first. I'm just saying.
It's a Cheshire cat, not the Chester cat.
Don't laugh at somebody else's pain, baby, because guess what? They gonna make you feel that shit 10 times worse. Just saying.
Yeah, this is a large woman that probably doesn't
Be
need
blessed,
any
though.
meals. Threatening violence. Okay. Man, does Obama look terrible. You know, we only have 2 weeks left to pass Prop 50. And when we do, we'll send a message of hope across the country. The change is possible. Si se puede. If we do the work. So whatever I'm promoting, it would probably be in your best interest to do the opposite. If I'm selling it, watch out. Watch your ass.
There's a broader principle at stake that has to do with whether or not our democracy can be manipulated.
It's a republic, and you manipulated all of it, you traitor.
Our democracy can be manipulated by those who are already in power to entrench themselves further, or...
You mean like your deep state that went after all of us normal Americans and President Trump? You're telling on yourself.
Or whether we're going to have a system that allows the people to decide who's going to represent them. And we're going to continue this extraordinary experiment that is about to be 250 years old.
Yeah.
So, as Gavin said, the only way this works, though, is if we have folks on the ground who
gotta have folks
who are doing the work.
Gotta do work. On the ground. I gotta work.
We can have terrific leadership. We can have wonderful elected officials who have good ideas and want to move things forward.
You gotta go forward. It's not backward. Progressive. Got to keep going forward, running out of victim groups. Because we are an egalitarian society, but I'm always going to push the other. Constant division, divisive tactics. Got to progress. Got to keep going forward.
But none of that will make a difference unless we are able to reach millions of people. And the best way to reach them is through the work that you're doing.
Through that work.
So I am so appreciative of the time that you're putting in, the effort that you're putting in, the hard work that you're putting in to make sure that Prop 50 passes.
No. So vote against Prop 50. If Obama's selling it, do the opposite. This statement brought to you by Freedom, Common Sense, Reality, and Liberty. Your allegedly heartbreaking images of the Christian genocide in Nigeria. In each coffin are children, fathers, brothers, and friends. They don't interest any Europeans. There's no Greta flotillas for them. There are no media. Shame. Glenn Beck talking about what he saw firsthand in Asheville, North Carolina, how FEMA discriminated against Trump supporters.
Okay, so they say that Donald Trump has weaponized the government. Okay, that he turned the DOJ loose on his enemies, that he has targeted John Bolton and obsessed with James Comey. They've said it a million times over and over again without ever asking, who actually held the trigger here.
Right.
Okay. But for a moment, just for the case of this argument, let's just say all of that was true. Let's say Trump had used the power of the state to punish those two people who had crossed him. Okay, people like Bolton and Comey. Just say, for the sake of argument, that's all true. These are men who sat in the highest rooms of power. They have lawyers, they have money, they have microphones. If that were true, it would be ugly. It would be dangerous. And it would be limited. Because what we just learned from the Department of Homeland Security is something far, far worse. This time the target is not a political rival. It's not a Washington insider. It was you. There's new news that is coming out today, according to the DHS Privacy Office report, which was launched after a bunch of whistleblowers came forward, that now says that FEMA did not mishandle just a few cases. They kept notes. They were making a list. They tracked Americans, their political and religious beliefs during disasters. Not in theory, in black and white. Let me give you some of the quotes. Angry political rant. Sign in yard states I'm a bitter gun owner clinging to my religion. Homeowner had a sign stating this is Trump country. These are not comments, about storm patterns. These are comments about people. And when these people were flooded, they were homeless, they were desperate, and asked for help from the same government that preaches compassion and equity, they got something entirely different. They got silence, delay, and sometimes nothing at all.
This is the weaponization of our political system ushered in by Obama and his third term with Biden.
The DHS report now confirms, quote, FEMA violated the Privacy Act of 1974 by collecting and storing data tied to protected speech. They were checking bumper stickers and writing you down in a book. They logged gun signage 72 times, Trump 15 times, firearms 5 times, Biden twice. The FEMA workers then, and we told you all this, but it was a conspiracy theory. Now it has been proven. FEMA workers skipped homes if you had a MAGA flag or a yard sign, and then they left notes. There was a political flyer. I'm quoting. So I didn't leave a FEMA brochure. Quote, we don't recommend anyone visit this location, end quote.
Uh-huh.
That's not a clerical error here.
No.
That's a blacklist. This is the same agency that airlifts people off of rooftops after hurricanes, that distributes food and shelter.
But they won't help you if you vote for the wrong people. Now, I do understand that maybe they encountered some angry people, but they had every right to. People had every right to be angry. I went down there. We did our documentary, Hurricane Helene, Help on the Way. People had every right. They felt like FEMA was not around. And guess what? They weren't around for a lot of people. And when they did finally encounter someone, yeah, they were angry. Like, what's taking you so long? What are you doing? But it was just another way to weaponize the government against normal Americans who supported MAGA and wanted to get these deep state Democrats the hell out of office.
When nothing else works. And they were told to avoid Americans because who they voted for. Not terrorists, not criminals, citizens. You.
And don't think when you get on a list that you're not going to get targeted, which is exactly why you have to throw the book at Obama, Clinton, Comey, Clapper, Brennan, all the people that violated our civil liberties. It's a civil liberty violation. You think being asked to move to the back of a bus was the worst thing you've ever heard of? Was that the 60s? That was Rosa Parks. We all learned about that. You should never be told to sit at the back of a bus. So what does it mean when you ignore helping 60% of the country who voted Republican? What does that mean when you tell 60% of the country? 60% of those people suffering in North Carolina with Trump yard signs. Don't help those people? Are you kidding me? Yes, John, that is exactly why we need to fight this crap. Marion, he wanted to fundamentally 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America. Exactly.
I will tell you, I have been in disaster after disaster, much of it not of my own creating, but natural disaster all over the world. I have shown up at the hurricanes and the floods and the tornadoes with help. And not once did it even occur to me to ask you, what's your political affiliation? Not once did it even occur to any of us to say, where do you stand on the Second Amendment? Who did you vote for? What do you believe? What church do you go to? Never. Do you believe in God? Never. That is absolutely 100% un-American. Un-American. I read this report. The floods in Florida and the tornadoes in Tennessee and the hurricanes in South Carolina, where people waited for days for aid that never came. And when it did come because of pressure from people like us, survivors, Americans who lost everything, received a $700 check. $700. Meanwhile, billions are being funneled to illegal immigrants, to foreign wars, to bureaucracies studying climate equity. And now we know why. Because they were busy making notes about bumper stickers. I read this morning, and I saw it firsthand, but I couldn't prove it. But I saw it firsthand, and I reported on it at the time. But they could say it was an isolated incident, and I couldn't prove otherwise. We can now. The report is now out. This is as un-American as our withdrawal in Afghanistan. Why was that so offensive? Because we left in humiliation. That's the least of my concerns. We left in humiliation. We betrayed all of our allies, and we left people behind. We never leave people behind. Never. That's one of our highest rules. You don't leave people behind. One of the biggest things about Americans is that we are generous, we are good, we're charitable, we help everybody. We are the world's lifeboat. And now we find out we had a president and an administration that was making a political list, a blacklist, where they would not give aid to Americans who are suffering. You're taking my tax dollars.
It's gross.
And if I happen to be the one that needs aid, I don't get coverage?
The people were so mad about this.
Because of who I voted for? It's the most offensive thing I've heard of our country ever doing on aid. Ever. Can you remember anything like this? Ever? I mean, they say democracy dies in darkness. Yeah, well, why don't you shine a light on some of these things? It doesn't die in darkness. It apparently is dying in databases. The FEMA database quietly flags citizens as politically undesirable. Let me ask you this. What would the media have said or done if Donald Trump had ignored those who lost their homes in California after the ravaging...
Or in Hawaii? Could you imagine?
Fire.
Hawaii,
if he didn't just show up, it would be bad enough, right? But he showed up. He brought his cabinet with him. He brought FEMA. He brought relief. He tried to cut all of the red tape in California. Couldn't get that done. But he was there. Can you imagine if he just hadn't have shown up, which Biden never did? If he hadn't have shown up. Worse yet, can you imagine what would be said if you found out that Donald Trump, his FEMA, was making a list and saying they voted for Gavin Newsom. They voted for Joe Biden. No help for them on their house. Can you imagine the outrage? I would be outraged.
Oh, yeah.
I am just as outraged that it happened under the last administration. Why? Why am I outraged? Because it cannot happen. It cannot happen under any administration. You allow this to happen and stand. Good luck, America, on what you have left. Will anything be done? Will anyone go to jail? Will the left be outraged by this? You want to talk about no kings? What is a king other than let that serf die? We don't care about those guys. They aren't for the king.
He's just describing everything that Obama and the deep state Democrats stand for. Punish your political enemies.
You know, Mercury One has already rebuilt homes. We're moving people back into their homes every single day. I know it because I watch Mercury One do it. But not in California. We've tried in California. Gavin Newsom, the Democrats, they're not helping those people. They won't allow any help for those people. Their own voters they don't care about. If you get in the way of this leftist administration, these leftists, you get in the way, it doesn't matter. Ends justify the means. Let them die. You know, they keep warning you about authoritarianism, but here it is. Cloaked in compassion, branded with a FEMA logo. This wasn't rogue, not a rogue agent. This is not a one-off scandal. This was a database. The DHS investigation says political bias was systematic, dating back to at least September 2021. That means that while the administration accused conservatives of conspiracy theories, it was literally compiling lists. And the media went right along with it. And will the media ever tell you this story? When, what was her name, the FEMA administrator, Criswell, testified before Congress in 2021, she said, this was an isolated case. Well, unfortunately, your files tell a different story. It's not isolated. It was national, and it was deliberate. Homeland Security Secretary Christine Ohm said, quote, for years, FEMA employees under the Biden administrations intentionally delayed much-needed aid to Americans suffering from natural disasters on purely political grounds. This is not your political enemy. This is your neighbor. That's not mismanagement. That's moral rot. This is not just another Washington scandal. This is a betrayal of the covenant between citizen and state. But they're not going to tell you that. Media won't talk to you about that. The Democrats won't do a damn thing about this. No one on that side will condemn this. But they'll talk to you all day today about how Trump is destroying the White House. Oh my gosh, he's destroying the White House and he's spending hundreds of millions of dollars on a ballroom of his own money.
Seriously.
And other people who are donating. And you know what? They're not donating in secret. It's all listed right there. They don't go through Arabella Advisors or the Tides Foundation. They give it straight and it's reported straight. So you know who built that building. My gosh. They'll report on the White House today, but they're not going to report on your house, you know, when FEMA didn't show up because you were on their list.
Uh-huh. Anyway, I still care about that issue. Still care about Hurricane Helene in North Carolina and what they did there. Back to the story. The Minnesota Supreme Court, according to Dustin Grage, says it ruled that the USA powerlifting ban on men competing in women's division is discrimination under the state's Human Rights Act. That's insane. All 7 justices were appointed by Democrats and a majority by Tim Walz. Unreal. We said that we need a nationwide sanity test for judges. It's time to form the U.S. court and force judges to defend their terrible decisions or lose their positions. Enough is enough. Whoopi Goldberg is missing the plot.
So
I love the 3 seconds of generic grumbling noises. She looks like a ram.
So this will also be decided. This is the part that really tickles me. It's going to be decided by some of the same Justice Department lawyers who worked with him on these past cases. So Americans, the question is, are you on board with all of this? This is like a cash grab. Yeah. And your taxes are probably going to be paying for that.
She looks like a ram. She did her hair ram style. Okay. But he's saying this is about the ballroom, but this is about $230 million.
That ballroom. I mean, it's kind of kooky.
It is about the ballroom. I'm confused. Because there is something where... What is the Trump $230 million? It's like a payback for the lawfare that the Democrats did. U.S. Department of Justice compensation for federal investigations he faced during his first term in the Biden admin stems from 2 administrative claims filed under the Federal Tort Claims Act in 23 and 24 before the 24 re-election. Claims allege violations of Trump's rights and seek reimbursement for legal fees, reputational damage, and punitive damages. Yeah. Russia investigation claim, the Mueller probe filed in 23, $115 million. Civil rights violations. Of course. There was a hoax that cost tens of millions of dollars in legal defense. Mueller report found no conspiracy, but did not exonerate Trump on obstruction. They're trying to claim that he obstructed a non-crime. It's the most pretzel logic you've ever heard. Also filed in 24, it's a demand of $115 million. $100 million punitive, $15 million compensatory, related to the FBI's 22 Mar-a-Lago raid, and then subsequent charges that were dismissed post-election, accusing the government of privacy violations and weaponization of the justice system. He said he'd donate any payout to charity. Keep it. Your life has been ruined by these Democrats. At least they tried to. There need to be penalties for civil rights violations. Hey, would this make you feel more or less safe if you were in New York listening to Comey Mamdani?
What my opponents are clinging to is the past, because that's all that they know. What I am proposing is something that will address the needs of New Yorkers in the present. We speak and hear from New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs who outline how the mental health crisis is one of the major challenges in this city. And yet what we have in our city is asking those same police officers who are being asked to respond to shootings, respond to murders, to also respond to these calls. I trust the dispatchers who would be receiving these calls to make the determination as to whether there was any indication of violence. If there is no indication of a threat of violence, then we would set the mental health experts and providers to respond to those same incidents. The reason I believe in...
If you're being mugged or assaulted or your home's being broken into, you need to wait while they assess if cops should come. Okay. David Santa Carla, here's another one. Look how excited she is thinking about looting, says the comment. I just, are these real posts or skits?
I want to be in the grocery store when they start looting it, because you think that people are going to be hungry? You think that these people not going to get their Thanksgiving? Baby, when they run up in there and start stealing them turkeys, oh, it's going to be like Christmas came early up in this bitch.
This is really what America's turned into.
I want to see the first news story about somebody stealing a turkey, because you know that shit about to go down, and I want to...
What you know should be about to go down is increased security and arrests.
I want to be front row for it, because I'm here for it. Get everything up out of the grocery store. Get it all.
All right. Sophia Laurie says, here's 2 California high school girls who are sitting out of their volleyball game because the male's on the other team. Their coach won't even let them sit with the team and didn't put their name on the roster, so they had to pay to get into the gymnasium. And now moms who support the male to beat up on girls are getting as close as they can to the girls. This is crazy. Cheering over their heads and constantly making comments to egg on the girls. Disgusting. Okay. New York Post reports a charity boss blew $11 million meant for needy kids on mansions, flashy yellow Mercedes for her lover. Missouri charity boss stole $11 million meant for starving and low-income kids, blew it on lavish items. Connie Bobo ran the New Heights Community Resource Center, Bridgeton. Spent $20 million of federally allocated taxpayer money to feed children between February 19, March 22. Oh, really now? She stole $11 million. Oh, she bought 7 properties. That's so super. Including a $1 million mansion in St. Charles above. Okay. Wow. And gave her romantic partner $1.4 million. This stuff is so gross. As her lies were discovered, the defendant used forged documents to try to cover up her crimes. 7 properties and a $1 million mansion for herself. $212,000 on a gleaming Mercedes-Benz wagon. $212,000 on a G-Wagon. Okay. Okay. Yeah, the Democrats are planning to launch a master ICE tracker on their website. I thought you couldn't use that word according to Democrats.
I shared this with the mayor. Over the course of the next couple of weeks, the Oversight Committee will be launching on their website a master ICE tracker where we're going to be essentially tracking every single instance that we can verify that the community will be able to send us information on. I shared this with the mayor.
Doxing. Obstruction. One of Berlin's most known... Hold on. One of Berlin's best-known drag queens under investigation for the distribution and possession of child pornography, says Disclosed TV. I don't know. Crash out videos. Mother criticized after the video of the daughter's behavior during a disagreement with the teacher.
Aria, can you come here, please?
It's bad teaching, too.
Miss T is on the way.
Kid almost knocked itself out. I think it's a her knocked herself out. Yeah, where's the corrective teaching to stop that? Just having an absolute freak out. Okay. State of America. All right, Ian Miles Chong says Japan's new prime minister says she prefers to let the population shrink rather than bring in waves of low-skilled immigrants to offset the decline because the preservation of Japanese society matters more than cheap labor. You're just going to have to trust Ian Miles Chong's interpretation here. We're asking, though, who actually got together and decided to flood each sovereign nation with invading military-aged men anyway? Who voted on that? Because it was a wide-ranging story. I mean, this is something that's happened globally. What meeting did it occur in? When did it start? Matt Van Swole says Ronnie Fuel of Charlotte, North Carolina was arrested a mind-boggling 41 previous times and was just arrested again for the murder of a 51-year-old man. Hold on. There we are. We said that we need to normalize keeping violent, crazy monsters off American streets with severe punishments. Americans don't have to live like this. We know. Oh, this is just... Oh, Colin Rugg reporting hundreds of high school students line the hallways of an Alabama hospital to say goodbye to their classmate as she heads into surgery to become an organ donor. 18-year-old Kimber Mills was shot at a party over the weekend in the leg and the head, allegedly by 27-year-old Steven Tyler Whitehead after a fight broke out. Mills did not know Whitehead, who has since been charged with her death and 3 counts of attempted. The high school cheerleader was taken off life support Tuesday. Our sweet little baby sister went to be with the Lord at 7:08 last night. She had the biggest gathering for Honor Walk that the doc has ever seen, Mills' sister said. She was and is loved by so many. We miss you, Kimber. This is heartbreaking. To become an organ donor. This is like the last goodbye. Ugh. It's just so pointless. It's so stupid. Like the whole town came out for this.
Okay, can we stop here? We'll stop right here for 1 second. Please join us in a quick prayer.
Heavenly Father, thank you, Lord, for this woman, this young woman, Lord. My sister, I love her so much, Lord.
I don't know. I just wanted that to sink in. That's so... so powerful. You could be on the I-10 in Ontario, California, and get hit by a trucker behind you. You could be at a party and catch a stray from a 27-year-old. It's like every day could be our last. High school cheerleader. Just a sad story. Out of Alabama. Okay. New York Post. Israel shares video of Hamas torturing and executing Palestinians as they beg for relief, and they urge journalists to shine a light on the Hamas atrocities. Elon is saying that having a NASA administrator who knows literally zero about rockets and spacecraft is undermining the American space program and endangering our astronauts. I feel like a prerequisite should be you should know a little bit about Rockets and space travel, seems like. All right, now for our final story of the day and our headlining story. Portland Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups has reportedly been arrested by the FBI. Let's dig into what's happening here. This is going to be a massive story.
The show this morning with highlights from the NBA. They had a great night last night. They're waking up this morning in the middle of a nightmare. Breaking news from the league. Portland Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups and Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier have been arrested as part of the FBI's investigation into sports betting. Details are still coming in as we speak. You may be following this. Shams has a bunch of it on his Twitter if you're looking at that, and we are collecting and aggregating the information as much as we can, and we'll bring it to you as quickly as we possibly can in a responsible way.
Sports betting investigation.
The situation that we know as far as Rozier, the core of his arrest is a March 2023 game that saw an uptick in Rozier bets coming in on the under. He left that game just 9 minutes in, citing a foot injury. He had previously not been accused of any wrongdoing. This is the same FBI probe that led to Toronto Raptors center Jonte Porter being banned from the league. So once again, we have 2 arrests that we are aware of this morning. We will have the very latest as we continue all morning long. We will follow this and bring you the latest.
Okay, I was hoping you might have a little bit more. Terry Rozier and Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups arrested. Kash Patel will have a news conference. Okay, I didn't see the news conference. Okay. NBA, FBI. Let's get the latest. Oh, here's Kash Patel.
Individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody.
Damon Jones? Oh, no. He used to play on the Cavs.
Individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today. Former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing. Individuals.
Damon Jones played for the Cavs. Where'd that page go? From 05 to 08, and then was an assistant coach to the Cavs in 16 to 18, contributing to the 2016 NBA championship. Oh, man. All right, Damon Jones, all arrested in illegal gambling cases. This is going to get real bad. Are there any other sports leagues that are rigged? All of them? Okay, here's actually a longer report. I want to hear this from Kash.
Good morning. Today we are here in New York to announce a historic arrest across a wide-sweeping criminal enterprise that envelops both the NBA and La Casa Nostra. The men and women up here standing with me represent a small portion of the leadership team that brought profound justice in an era that needed it more than any. I'll just highlight some of the details in the case and the FBI work, and then you'll hear from the others. But as you now know, individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today. Former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing. Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Casa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchesi crime families. And you'll hear more about those details today. The charges and the arrests that were taken down across this country range from wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, robbery, illegal gambling. This FBI will leave no room for any perpetrator of crime across this country. You hear a lot about our work of defending the homeland and crushing violent crime. Well, this work is also representative of a colossal portion of the FBI's mandate to keep America safe and to keep our entertainment industry fair and secure. The men and women that are standing up here today worked tireless hours, days, months, and years. And the fraud is mind-boggling. It's not hundreds of dollars. It's not thousands of dollars. It's not tens of thousands of dollars. It's not even millions of dollars. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars in fraud and theft and robbery across a multi-year investigation. And we could not have done it without our interagency partners that are before us today. The NYPD, HSI, and teams of law enforcement officials from around the country made this day possible. It takes a team to bring this kind of justice, sweeping justice, into the halls of the United States courtrooms, where our brave United States attorney has led this prosecution. It takes courageous prosecutors to stand before you and say, we will not allow this kind of illicit activity to happen, not only at the national sporting level, but also where it hides in La Cosa Nostra. And when these two collided together, they perpetrated a fraud that is historic in terms of not just money, but the scheme and the deceit that they utilize to steal and swindle people from money, to include crypto fraud. This is an operation that showcases to you that under President Trump's administration, there is no room for any type of criminal behavior, be it on the world's largest stage or in the back rooms of tiny parlors where card games are being played. We are proud to stand here today with the men and women of the FBI and this legal team. And to the United States Attorney, I just want to thank you personally for taking the time to display the work that the media is about to hear about today in detail. As I said, it does take courageous prosecutors, but it takes a courageous United States Attorney to bring this case, because we are going to take heat for it. But we don't shy away in this administration.
Pardon the pun, the Miami Heat.
We don't say no. What we do is we bring the results across the finish line. We bring them to the public. We bring you accountability. And yes, they will have their day in court, and you will hear the evidence through the court system exclusively. We will not deny anyone of due process. And that's the brilliance of this system. That's the brilliance of this administration. Everyone will be held to account. So with that, I turn it over to United States Attorney Nosell. Thank you.
All right. Michael Jordan, when he saw the FBI is coming to arrest former and current NBA players for illegal gambling. Stephen A. Smith has thoughts on this. Let's take a listen. NBA game rigging mafia linked scandal. Is President Trump's revenge? Huh? Oh, this might be the dumbest take of the day. Dude, this gambling stuff is going to ruin sports. I've not been a fan of this since they've opened up all these betting apps. It's making this stuff easier and easier. Worst take of the day alert potential from Stephen A. Smith.
How many times, for one incident after another, have I said, Trump is coming? He's coming. I'm going to say it on national television again. Bad Bunny is performing at the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden you hearing ICE is going to be there, looking to engage in mass deportations. The Super Bowl, disrupting things. Big night for the NBA. Wembanyama put on a show. That has now been smeared because we're talking about this story, okay? Remember, Trump has a long, long history connected to the world of sports because he had those casinos. Where do you think folks were coming half the time? I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the culture. When people want to go to a casino, when people want to gamble, when people want to party, or whatever the case may be. This was his kind of connection to that. Why am I glad you're here, Monica? Because don't be surprised if the WNBA is next on his list. Mm-hmm. Because when you've got all of these protests that have been going out there and people that have been protesting against him and what have you, this man is coming. He's coming. And I've been saying it for a long time. And to me, this is the latest nugget of evidence that we're talking about right here. That's not to question the legitimacy of the case. We don't know. We're all sitting up here and we're saying that we don't know. But anybody that has been around him, anybody that has talked to him, anybody that has seen his reactions from the sports leagues and the positions that people have taken, they are not surprised at what's going on today. I'm watching a press conference with the director of the FBI. Tell me when we've seen that. We've seen people, we've seen accusations before. We've seen athletes get in trouble with the law before. You don't see the director of the FBI having a press conference. It's not coincidental. It's not an accident. It's a statement. And it's a warning that more is coming. And that's what they're saying here. And everybody better, I'm just telling you, it's as serious as it gets. This ain't the platform for me to get into it the way I'm going to get into it. But I've been saying he's coming. He's coming because in his eyes, folks try to throw him in jail. In his eyes, he's innocent. They try to put me behind bars. I'm getting everybody. He's not playing. And so this, in a lot of people's eyes, talk to people in the NBA, talk to people in the NFL, talk to people in the world of sports.
This is the worst take in sports. Oh, that is a good point. John says, do you do any betting, Stephen? Are you scared? It sort of seems like he's protesting too much. Why would you defend this behavior? This isn't about, he's trying to make this about cash and Trump. This is about rigging games and Costa Nostra. The mob. This isn't about Trump.
They think this is like the tip of the iceberg. These are the kind of words that are coming out of people's mouths.
Yeah. This happened in baseball. 2 of the Cleveland Indians pitchers went down for this year, including the Cleveland Indians all-time saves leader, Emmanuel Clase, the best in the business. He might have been, I think he's going to get a lifetime ban. This isn't about the NBA. This is about sports and sports betting in general. This is going to be a huge story. Stephen A. is way out in left field here.
It's not a surprise. It's very disheartening. It's very concerning. We don't know where this is going to go, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. Everybody's better brace themselves because he's coming.
Oh, this is so stupid. Oh, the boogeyman's coming. No. Once again, what's coming is accountability for criminal actions. That's what's coming. These people with their Trump derangement syndrome, it's the weirdest shit. The person who got mad at me after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Like, okay, yeah, how dare I call out all the vitriol from the teachers? I didn't do that. But then they get mad when you point it out, when you point out the obvious. We've been screaming for years that the NFL is rigging their games to help the Kansas City Chiefs and their golden boys, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Their uncalled helmet-to-helmet hit from Dirty Dan Sorensen probably cost the Cleveland Browns a chance at the AFC Championship game with Baker and Nick Chubb in 2020. Do you agree, Nimbus? He's just licking his chops and meowing. 30 arrests, 11 states, 1 nationwide takedown. Cosa Nostra. Cheating, corruption, laundering. Oh, this is going to get crazy. Chauncey Billups arrested with an illegal poker operation tied to the mafia. Look, I don't have a problem with playing poker. I don't understand why there's an issue with poker. Oh, people get together and play poker, so what? But this sounds like much more than that. Damon Jones, illegal gambling. Terry Rozier, illegal gambling. Oh, this is hilarious. So they're saying here, well, here, let me point it out when it happens.
Around sports gambling was always something that was completely verboten. It was something that was sort of in the shadows.
Sports gambling was verboten and in the shadows. You're not supposed to talk about it or be about it. There you go. At the bottom, it says ESPN bet. Bet $10 to get $100. Everything's about gambling apps. Bottom right of the screen. Do you see that?
It was something that leagues stayed far away from. It was something that networks like ESPN would stay far away from. Those days are obviously long behind us. You hear a lot about legal sports gambling on this show. The Bussin' Boys, obviously sports gambling is a huge part of what you do, so we put those all out there as a preamble because it might be in the back of people's minds, and we acknowledge that this is a different time and place.
And they took it off the screen right there.
However, there is a fine line, not so fine. There is a bold line that obviously has to be drawn.
Oh, that is wild. They are so complicit in this because that's where the money's flowing from. It's like the pharmaceutical companies. That's where the money's flowing from. So the geriatric media companies. I've got an aggressive fruit fly over here that's been dive bombing into my coffee or coming around near it. Sorry about that. Clapping. That's hilarious that they're talking about it and they take it right off the screen.
There is a preamble because it might be in the back of people's minds, and we acknowledge that this is a different time and place. However, there is a fine line, not so fine. There is a bold line that obviously has to be drawn between legal sports gambling when it comes to the public and anything that might infiltrate into locker rooms and into teams. And it is, we all knew it was going to be a complication as this became more around. Sports was
Okay, that's maybe my favorite clip of the day. I'm going to put that out there. Best clip of the day. At the unhappy hour _ Let's share that. The NBA is very concerned about multiple arrests made as a result of the FBI's sports gambling code. Use code multiple arrests for a 30% profit boost on a 3-leg parlay with DraftKings, the official gambling partner of the NBA. Believe that's a joke. NBA supposedly cleared Terry Rozier of wrongdoing only for the FBI to arrest him 4 months later. Uh-oh. The same NBA, which is directly in league with the sports books? Okay. They're showing clips here of Terry Rozier playing some of the worst basketball you'll ever see. Yes, Nimbus. Manipulating his performance during a game to benefit illegal gambling. I mean, shots that are the biggest air balls, dribbling it off your foot, passing it to nobody, lollygagging, shots that aren't even remotely close over and over. Now, he could just suck, but he's either undershooting the passes it out of bounds. There's evidence. This is all evidence. Yeah, there's, I mean, just a missed shot's no big deal, but here he goes. He gets a second attempt. Nope. Airball's the second one. Doesn't he get a third attempt here? I thought I saw one where he got a third attempt. So the NBA requested an investigation into Russell Westbrook, but the FBI declined. What is that about? Maybe Terry didn't just become a horrifically bad NBA player for no reason. Oh, Chauncey Billups, a day before getting arrested by the FBI, says this. You can't make this up.
No, you know, I don't, that pressure thing is nothing to me, man. I do the best I can and let the chips fall where they may. You know that about me by now, quick.
Oh, yeah, we do know that about you right now. Letting the chips fall. That's a great gambling reference. Hall of Famer Chauncey Billups was used by the Italian mafia to attract poker players who would then play rigged games with X-ray technology. Oh, my God. Yeah, they're calling out Stephen A. Smith for his ridiculous take here. Yeah, I love the people that said for 10 plus years sports are not fixed. Yeah, they are. We've all known it. And it's a shame. It's ruining the sport. So there we have it. That's breaking news, and we're going to follow it. We'll bring back more of this information tomorrow. More updates tomorrow. Quick reminder that we do have Rumble rants and Super Chats if anybody wants to toss something in the collection plate. Always appreciated. Isn't that right, Mr. Nimbus? Yes, it is. Helps me buy his cat food and his cat medicine. John saying, lots of people are going to be in deep crap. I think so. Just look at the Kansas City Chiefs. Look at the numbers. And maybe we'll bring that up on today's episode of Strictly Football. 6 p.m. Eastern is when we're doing that. Jim Mitchell, Mike Barra, myself. I think Ezrael Robinson might be out for this one. 6 p.m. Eastern. But Mike has brought up on multiple occasions that when you look at the data on how many roughing the passer penalties you've had, the phantom holding calls, the call, Kansas City Chiefs go and have an entire game that don't have a single penalty called on them. It's like you don't have that happen. But they do find a way to make that happen. For every other team, they get penalty calls on them, but you can't with the Chiefs because you got to make sure the Chiefs have every and sometimes you can't just give a team a win. You can just help them every way imaginable. And it's been that way with the Chiefs since their golden boy, Patrick Mahomes, came into the league, it seems like. Kenneth sends, what is this? My brain is having a moment. This is a super chat that says a Rumble can't. No, it's a Rumble rant, not a Rumble can't. But thank you for that. That is friggin' fantastic. Literally, though, I did just go to Target yesterday and drop $110, and I probably spent $15 on me. What did I even get for me? I got, I guess maybe 20. I got emergency. I got some dish soap. And then it was cat food. Did I get anything else? Cat food. Yeah, 70% of my bill was for the cats. So the cats appreciate the Rumble rant. The Rumble can't. The super chat. Thank you so much. Kenneth, you're a superstar. Appreciate you. But yeah, we'll be back talking football today. And I will try. I think I'll bring it up with Mike Barra because we've talked about gambling in football. The Jim Mitchell segments are about betting the lines and betting trends, based on the last X amount of times these teams played. What did we learn? What are some good betting trends? So a portion of the show is about betting. So I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up today, and we'll talk about it in the world of football. Yes, Nimbus, you want more salmon? I think he wants some more salmon. Okay. We'll go double check if my buddy needs some more salmon. But thank you all for being here. We'll dump the news out on the table tomorrow and see what pops up. All right. See you at 6 o'clock. If you're around, if you're hanging out, jump in. We'll talk about football this evening at 6 o'clock. So until then, I appreciate you. I love you, and we'll talk to you again soon. Ooh, I love salmon too. And I by the way, I just put some defrosted salmon into the freezer, from the freezer into the fridge to cook either tonight or maybe it'll take till tomorrow. Although, unfortunately, you go for wild caught salmon. I guess that's the one you're supposed to get. Okay. And then on the back, it says color added. I don't want color added. I don't want any extra ingredients. It is so hard to just buy food. Can't we just make a sticker for food that's just food products. And if you had any of the other crazy bullshit, can you call it food tangential, food type product? It's like, oh, I did the right thing. I got farm raised. Or no, I didn't get farm raised. I got wild caught. And it says color added. I've been telling President Trump for a long time that we have to get a good grip on the petroleum-based food dyes. Get them out of our food, out of our grocery stores completely. Petroleum-based food dyes have been linked to all sorts of problems. So yeah, just food. Here's a label. Just food. Oh, good. I'd like to get food that's just food. Oh, that has canola oil? I don't want it. Soybean oil? Don't want it. Oh, it has artificial petroleum-based food dyes. Walmart is now going to be eliminating these within the next 2 years. Yeah, just call it bullshit food with added colors. I'm going to finish it because I do need to go through the freezer and rotate the stuff that's been in there for a while. Oh, it's time. It's time. I've had food in there for several years. I'm sure you've had food in your freezer for several years. And it's still good, right? At least I hope it's still good. Anyway, salmon for him. Turkey for you. Turkey for me. Let's eat the turkey in a big brown tree. What's that from? Question of the day. Type it in the comments. I know. Marion, eliminate the food dyes now. Why are they waiting 2 years? I think it's, suppliers have to cycle through. They got to I don't know. I don't know why it has to take so long either. I don't know why anything takes so long. Just do it. I get it to a certain degree, but on the other hand, just do it. All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll be back 6 o'clock, Strictly Football. I appreciate you. I love you. And if I miss you on Strictly Football, we'll catch you tomorrow on the TNAM Daily Show here on the New American Media. Talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.
Your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.